If you've been thinking about changing a system, I'd say go for it. Do it now. Because the longer you think about it, the more time you give yourself excuses and you're just postponing the inevitable.
Welcome to Deduct This, powered by ProConnect Tax. This is where tax professionals come together to share ideas, experiences, and fresh perspectives to help you grow your practice and your future. We're glad you're here. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Carrie and Lexi Deduct This. I'm Carrie.
And I'm Lexi. Today we're diving into a topic that's super relevant right now this time of year. It's all about shopping and switching up your tax and accounting solutions and software.
Absolutely. So we hear from accounting professionals all the time that right after tax season, right after you experience the craziness, that off season, if you will, let's call it off season, is the time to make big changes and to really think about what you might want to do for your firm for the next tax season.
Exactly. And today we're super excited. We're joined by Thembi Mlalazi, and she has led her firm through a full software transformation and have lived to tell the tale. So thank you so much for joining us, Thembi. Can you start by just telling us a little bit about your firm and your role and all about you guys?
Of course. Thank you for having me. So, my name is Thembi Mlalazi, and my firm actually is called AccTaxAdvisor CPAs, and I'm the founder and principal of that firm. Our firm serves mostly small and medium enterprises, and I wear a lot of hats. I am an advisor, I'm a strategist, I am a team lead, but most importantly, I'm always looking ahead to see how we can better improve our client experience, how we can better serve our clients, and also how we can improve our internal efficiencies. And I built this firm with the idea that financial and tax advice should not be overwhelming. It must actually be empowering to the client. So you'll find that most of my service offering, there's a lot of educational material or lots of education for the client.
Oh, I love that. I think that's amazing. I love that kind of twist on it. You know, it can be very overwhelming for small businesses. I have an accounting professional in a small business, and sometimes terms I don't understand what's going on. So I'm like, I need you to take it down a different level for me. So I love that that's kind of incorporated in the core of what you guys try and do. That's amazing.
Right.
So let's
we aim to empower our clients.
That's awesome.
I love it. So let's talk about, it's now off season, if you will, or, we just got out of tax season here a couple of months ago. So what are you doing in this time of year? How do you look at this season of the year?
This time of year, it's obviously not as busy as the first few months of the year. So it gives us time to reflect and look back. What went well? What didn't go well? What do we need to improve on? What is the feedback from our clients? Because we get reviewed by most of our clients. Actually, we would like it if all of our clients would review us, but we get a lot of feedback from our clients. So we take time to look into that and assess that and see what areas we can improve on. Improve in terms of the service that we offer to them and also how we as a team can improve. So it's a time of reflection, improvements, and planning ahead for the next seasons.
It's so smart. It's so smart to get ahead of it. And so can you actually go back and tell us what are you using? What were you using and what did you switch to?
Okay, so we're currently using ProConnect Tax software. It is a brilliant system, and we got to ProConnect after having evaluated a few software platforms. What I like about ProConnect software is how it incorporates a lot of things into one software. Mm-hmm. And one game changer for us was the fact that we could get the e-signatures directly from ProConnect. We didn't have to download the tax return, put it in a PDF format, email it to a client, get them to sign. You can just do it all on the click of a button from ProConnect. And that is awesome. And lately, from 2024 tax season, ProConnect Tax has also included the Intuit Tax Advisor into the software. Mm-hmm. That is beautiful because once tax season is done, we're sitting back with clients and we're starting the tax planning for the next season. That has been, wow, beautiful.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So tell me, let's take it one step back. So tell me about your process to find and evaluate new software. How did you come across ProConnect, and then how did you decide that that was the right one for you?
Obviously, we had to shortlist a few different platforms, right? And we booked demos with a few of them. And then we had to sit down as a team and decide what our like non-negotiables were, what were our must-haves for the system that we needed. And I remember one of the main things that the team liked was the fact that ProConnect can be accessed from anywhere. So the cloud, right? You don't have to download it to a specific computer. And this is critical for us because my team is 100% remote. So this was one of the main factors that made us go with ProConnect after evaluating a lot of other software types that are out there in the market. And we also liked the ease of use. When you log into Connect and you start doing your tax return, it's so easy to follow and know what comes next, right? You've done, so the first part, like your general information, you capture your tax return and your taxpayer information, it leads you to the next stage and to the next stage and to the next stage. And that is beautiful because it helps you to save time also because you're not jumping from one place to the other. It's sort of arranged chronologically. And that is actually a game changer for us.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. So I heard you say something that's really interesting to me. You said Intuit Tax Advisor is now built into ProConnect software, and it's amazing.
It's amazing.
And you said like right now you're in that planning season, right? You're finishing extensions. You're really looking forward to the next tax year, which is, oh my gosh, around the corner. Can you believe we're sitting at like weeks away from August now? Can you talk a little bit about how you're using that in your new tool and how it's been so different this year versus last?
To start off with, so for the taxpayers that we did tax returns for, let's say in 2024, ProConnect automatically identifies or suggests to you the type of taxpayer that would benefit from a tax planning session. And that already saves us a lot of time. We don't have to go back and see who do we think is a potential client. So there's already a list of suggested taxpayers. So we go through that and we see, okay, so this one can benefit. And then we talk to the taxpayer. We help them understand what tax planning is. You remember earlier when I said part of my service offering is more about educating and empowering the client. So we are big on that. Even during tax season, we're already making them aware that we'll reach out to you for a tax planning session. So Intuit Tax Advisor takes the data that we used for the tax return for last season, 2024, and it already pre-populates the tax planning document that we start off with, right? So we already have a baseline to start off with. And then Intuit Tax Advisor also suggests the tax strategies that are applicable to this particular taxpayer, which is amazing, which is, it's amazing. So we then sit down with the taxpayer and we go through each tax strategy, explaining to them, educating them on what the benefits of each one are and how they can benefit from the strategies. Then we add the strategies to their tax plan, and then we show them the tax results, what tax savings they are going to have if they add this particular tax strategy. And the taxpayer's eyes always go up, and the taxpayer's eyes always get lit because they'll be like, wow, this is so much. I wasn't aware of this. I didn't know if I could maximize this. I didn't know I could do X, Y, Z. I wasn't aware that if I elect to be an S Corp, I would make so much savings. And that has been a game changer for us.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So let's talk about, right. So I love that you guys have done, you kind of made the shift. You found different software and it includes Intuit Tax Advisor. What surprises have you had through this process of introducing new software to your company, whether they're good or they're bad? What surprises did you find?
There were a few. First of all, our migration took longer than we expected, than the rep had anticipated. But we were patient with ourselves because we also realized that this is giving us an opportunity to sort of clean up the data that we had from our Excel documents and make sure that whatever is going on to the new system is actually clean data because, garbage in, garbage out. So that was one of the surprises. The other one was how easy our lives became after that, right? Because once you load all your information onto the software, it's very easy to track. There's a dashboard that tracks all the returns that you have, what status each one is at, and it's easy to see who is assigned to what. So it made our lives so much easier. Instead of jumping from one spreadsheet to the email to all of that, you just look onto the dashboard and you have your full picture over there. And I also liked how our clients noticed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, they were like, oh, this is beautiful, because now they don't have to get a tax return in PDF format, in a secure PDF, and they have to download it and sign and print and scan back to us. No, we just send through a link and they sign, DocuSign, and they send it back. So immediately we got the very positive feedback on that.
That's so great that you saw the fruits very quickly.
Immediately.
You said something that we hear a lot. Like, I'm not changing software. It's too hard. The migration is too disruptive. Like, right? A lot of people stick with software that they're not happy with because
Right.
it's just painful to switch because it's a lot of data. It's a lot of, you're so busy year round now, because you're doing planning. Can you talk a little bit about how the process was to move over and whether that was with your account executive or were there templates, were there tools to help that migration and ease a little bit of the pain? How was that process?
So yes, we did have an agent help us,
Mm-hmm.
right, from the software company. So that was very helpful because then they help you. So we worked with them to draw up a plan, like an onboarding plan, and we put timelines and dates, and then we allocated the team members to some of the tasks. That was one other thing that I found very, very critical for buy-in, involving the team early, my team early, from the start when we're deciding the must-haves of each system and for the demos we set in the demos as a team. And so by the time we came to implementing the software, each one already knew this is my area. I need to be in charge of this. So there was like a champion for each section, right?
Smart.
And so we worked using that template that we had created. And we also had a lot of checklists that we worked off against. So for example, on our Excel spreadsheet, we needed to make sure that the naming convention that we have on the Excel spreadsheet was carried on to the new software. And in the past, we spend a lot of time. So if I give you an example, if a couple is married filing jointly, the tax return is like the taxpayer's name, whether it's the husband and then the wife is the spouse. So we needed to align that naming convention to say the tax return name is also going to be the account name in the new software, so that when you're searching, you don't spend a lot of time saying, okay, the tax return says Mark, but then the account says Judy. But no, Judy and Mark are filing together. So it's better for you to have both the account name and the tax return name being Mark. So we had to spend a lot of time doing that. And our checklist helped us to keep track of each of those things.
I like it. I like that. I've heard through this process as, trying all sorts of different software. One thing that you touched on, I thought was really, really important, is that each person had sort of a role to play within the organization. Right. Because I've seen, I know, at least in, the company I've worked at, sometimes software is just given to you. And the learning curve is difficult. And when someone just tells you, hey, you're going into this new software, you sometimes don't feel part of the process and it becomes very overwhelming. And so I love that was part of your process to say each person has to buy in and understand a certain part of it to kind of make it go smoother. So I think that's I love that part. And I think that people would learn from that.
Totally.
One other thing, is, as you went through this process, one other thing that you said that I thought was very interesting is when you were identifying new software, you had a list of must-haves. What were some of those things on your must-have list? Remote, I guess it was one of them, right? Because you said you guys are actually remote, so remote access. But what other things were on that list?
Absolutely. So yes, remote, and we needed to have automated workflows. That is a big thing for us because we're looking at efficiency. Busy tax season, you need to maximize on time, right, and minimize on time wasted. So workflows that are automated was a big one for us. And we needed to be able to have a system also that clients could find easy to use, and a system that we would use to interact with clients. And I like ProConnect for that, because in ProConnect, all I do is create a client account and I send them a link, right? So when we send them a link, they're able to upload their documents onto the tax software instead of maybe sending it via email or text or WhatsApp. Everything gets uploaded directly onto the software. And our other must-have was a secure system. In this day and age where we use IT, that is critical. That is critical. So we appreciate the ProConnect software and the Intuit link that they have, because we know it's secure and our clients find it very easy to use. And when any interactions that we want to have with the client, everything happens using that portal. So those were some of our must-haves: ease of use, workflows that are automated, secure portal, and something that the client would also not have difficulty work with.
If someone's not thinking about those things, they should be, because those are all critical things.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So, okay, you onboarded the team, they were part of the journey. How long did it take for your team and you to feel confident within your new software?
So, change is hard, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'll say honestly about maybe 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, that's nothing.
It's actually better than I
Yeah,
thought.
before
That's amazing.
right before we all like hit our groove.
Yeah.
I remember
Wonderful.
first week, second week, we're struggling. It's very easy to go back to the old ways. So there was always a temptation of something familiar, the spreadsheet I've always used before. It's very easy to go back to that. And we struggled with that in the first 2 weeks until we got to a point where we decided, let's not even update these spreadsheets anymore. Let's not do this anymore, so that it would force us to,
Yep.
when you open your computer, you're going straight onto the software, right? So yeah, there was a learning curve, a steep learning curve, but we had made provisions. We also had created maybe Loom videos for async training. So all of those things helped, that if somebody was working on the software and they maybe felt that they were not confident in one area, they could easily go to the Loom video we created,
So
and then they
smart.
could proceed with the work. So I would say about after a month to 6 weeks, we were good.
As you bring on new people, you have those videos to
Absolutely,
quickly
yeah.
train the new
Yeah.
people. So that's brilliant. And so I love that tip for people.
That was beautiful,
That's
because we
awesome.
now have them archived and ready. We just update them. So, for example, when Intuit Tax Advisor came onto ProConnect this year, we just updated with new videos for that.
Wonderful.
Great. That's great. I mean, people learn better in video, right, than they do if you just kind of write things down, things like that. I love that. So what would they always say, right, hindsight's 2020. So knowing what you know now, you've gone through you've migrated, you got everyone on board, you made your videos, you made it through a tax season successfully.
Right.
Knowing what you know now, what would you tell yourself back at the beginning? What would you do differently?
I would probably allocate more time for the cleanup upfront. I felt like we sort of rushed that part a bit. Yeah, I would allocate a little bit more time for that, because you don't really realize how much of data cleanup you need to do. But I'm also gentle with myself. I give myself a little bit of grace, and I say that to the team, that you're never going to get everything perfect the first time. So we're not chasing perfection. We're just chasing that we want to get to a point where we implemented this system and we can improve it as we go. And yeah, that's what I would change. I can also say one thing that I would not change: the fact that we involved the team early. That was a big plus. Get the team involved, and that's amazing. If they have the buy-in from the very first onset, it's very easy to then sell anything after that. Sell them system improvements. When Intuit Tax Advisor comes along, they're more open. They know it's part of the same system.
Well, and that little bit of pain, if you will, in the beginning, you can hear through all the goodness that came in making the switch. It was worth it. I mean, 4 to 6 weeks, that's amazing. That's unbelievable. So, in that same note, like I said, a lot of people are so hesitant about switching their software. What's a piece of advice, especially right now when we know they're out there shopping, thinking about making the switch? What's the piece of advice or anything that you could say about people that are thinking to switch right now?
Do not wait until it's urgent.
Yeah,
I cannot
it's great advice.
stress this enough. So use the off-season to look into your system and build something that's going to sustain you and have a proper foundation when the busy time comes up. And I would also advise, like I've said, include your team early. Have the team involved. Give them a part in the planning and the implementation of the new software. That will go a long way into empowering them also as a team. And I would also say, don't chase perfection. progress over perfection. You're not going to get it right. And besides, none of these systems are 100% perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give yourself grace, focus on progress, and get to the finish line. You can always improve the system as you go on. So if you've been thinking about changing a system, I'd say go for it. Do it now. Because the longer you think about it, the more time you give yourself excuses, and you're just postponing the inevitable. By the time you get to the busy season and you decide, okay, this thing really doesn't work, you're already under pressure.
That's such great advice. Thembi, thank you so much for joining us today. That was just so insightful and honestly like refreshing to know that you made the change, you did what's right for the firm, you did what's right for the team, and it was smooth and you're so better for it. And so thank you so much for talking about switching your software today with us.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. If anybody's been sitting on the fence out there, do it. This is your sign.
Do it. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being part of Deduct This, powered by ProConnect Tax. If today's conversation gave you something new to think about, visit accountants.intuit.com for more insights and resources made for professionals like you. We'll be right here, helping you turn expertise into opportunity.